Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're doing a really fascinating deep dive. We are going to objectively unpack the teachings and writings originating from Life Chen Yuan's founder, the guide Shufeng. Specifically, we're breaking down his text that details the supposed blessings of becoming a Chen Yuan celestial. We're actually going to follow the promised journey of a believer literally step by step right through to what the text describes as their ultimate destination. So let's get into it. Right off the bat, Shufeng lays down something pretty massive. He states that becoming a Chen Yuan celestial is, and I quote, the most complete and fulfilling conclusion to the human journey. Now, this isn't just some abstract floating philosophy. As we'll see, this text actually outlines a highly structured, literal roadmap from everyday earthly life directly to ultimate salvation.
All right, so step one on this journey, a new celestial identity.
To kick things off, embarking on this path requires a total transformation of who you fundamentally are. In this system, an initiate receives what's known as a grace name. Basically, this new celestial name is a symbol of actively letting go of your earthly attachments. The idea is that your old family surname fades away, marking a literal departure from what the text calls ignorance and primitiveness. It's a way of ensuring the believer doesn't cling to the past as they step into their new future.
And by stepping into this brand new identity, the text claims you get a profound spiritual upgrade. You're ascending from just being an ordinary human to becoming a literal citizen of the kingdom of heaven. You become someone directly guided, arranged for, and protected by the greatest creator. So it's an absolute shift in both your status and your spiritual security.
Moving right along to step 2, the boundless soul family. Once your identity is transformed, what does your actual day-to-day life look like? Well, Shufeng draws a really sharp contrast here. Think about it. Most of us, as ordinary humans, are limited to maybe a dozen or so close blood relatives, right? Parents, siblings, kids. But the Chen Yuan celestial, according to the text, they gain thousands of intimate family members, bound not by biology, but by a resonance of the soul. There's this one line that really stands out. It says, "It is said, to have one true soulmate in life is enough, but a Chen Yuan celestial may gain thousands." I mean, wow, that really taps into a deep, universal human craving for connection, doesn't it? It promises an environment where you are quite literally never isolated, just surrounded by thousands of people who supposedly understand you on a profound spiritual level. Because of this massive built-in community, Life Chen Yuan promises a completely new way of living, which they call the heavenly model on Earth. Shufeng asserts that these celestials possess broader and deeper knowledge, the absolute clearest minds on Earth, and basically represent a life form that transcends the ordinary human entirely. The claim is that they're living a life our ancestors couldn't have even imagined.
But of course, no journey is without its roadblocks. That brings us to step 3, facing spiritual adversity.
Even with a shiny new identity and thousands of soulmates, tough times are going to happen. And when they do, Shufeng offers a pretty fascinating explanation. The text states that the closer a soul draws to heaven, the more fiercely the devil tries to obstruct it. The nearer you get to the gates, the greater the resistance. So in this framework, hardship isn't a red flag that you've made a mistake, it's actually proof that you're right on track. And you can see how this completely flips the script psychologically. An ordinary person facing severe hardship might just throw their hands up and fall into despair. But here, believers are instructed to reframe earthly struggles into spiritual fuel. Because that resistance means they're nearing heaven, their willpower and confidence are supposed to become even stronger. It's a built-in internal mechanism designed to keep their conviction totally unshakable.
Okay, let's look at the ultimate destination. Step 4. The ticket to heaven.
What's genuinely unique here is that Shufeng doesn't just offer vague spiritual ideas. He lays out a literal cause and effect formula for salvation. Step 1, receive your celestial name, shedding your past. Step 2, live in the second home for a specific amount of time. And Step 3, enter heaven. It is highly specific. And the entire belief system really hinges on one single number, 8. The text explicitly states that believers must reside in their communal living space, known as the second home, for over 8 years. We're not talking about a weekend retreat here. This is a nearly decade-long commitment to lived communal practice just to secure that ultimate reward. But get this, attached to that 8-year commitment is a highly specific statistical promise. 95%. The claim is that as long as believers live in the second home for more than 8 years, 95% of them will enter heaven. I mean, you don't usually see salvation broken down into percentages, right? It frames heaven as an almost guaranteed outcome as long as you put in the required time.
Once that time is served, the promised reward is absolute perfection. The text describes it as 1,000 lifetimes of cultivation finally finding their fulfillment. The Chanyan Celestial is rewarded for their earthly devotion by getting to walk freely in heaven completely without regret, without sorrow. It's presented as literally the greatest blessing possible.
So, that wraps up our walk through the source material for today. But before we go, I want to leave you with something to really chew on. When we look at Xiufeng's highly structured path to salvation, all the way from fading out a surname to a 95% guarantee of heaven, what does this actually reveal about our fundamental human desire for absolute certainty and boundless community? Regardless of what you make of the group itself, you have to admit the psychological appeal of such definitive, structured spiritual promises is undeniably fascinating. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep asking those big questions.